You are listening to the Disney Dream Girls, an unofficial Disney theme parks podcast, and this is show number 277 for Sunday, the 15th of September 2019.
Where dreams begin.
Hello and welcome to the Disney Dream Girls. My name is Michelle Young, and together with my jolly good friend Jayne Phipps, we are your guides to the place where dreams begin. Quick reminder before we begin the show, you can find us on Instagram and Twitter at DisDreamGirls. You can email us info@disneydreamgirls.com. And you can also catch us up on Facebook with the Disney Dream Girl podcast page. And also we have a special page called the Disney Dream Girl Podcast Family, where you guys get to share your Disney with everybody. Anyway, Jayne, how you doing, my lovely?
I'm doing all right, Michelle. I'm a little bit like of a whirlwind at the moment. I think it's like 2 weeks back into the school year. I know we go off about school years, but it's like, I need to catch my breath a bit, I think.
I totally agree. I concur. It's just like mega manic at the moment, getting everything prepped. But luckily, there doesn't seem to be that much happening in the old Disney news front, really.
No, it's a little bit quiet.
I think they've exhausted everything with all the rumour confirmation at D23. And
True.
Then now it's sort of like trickling out a little bit here, a bit about Halloween, a little bit about Christmas. But
yeah.
I gather you've found something in the news that might tantalise us a little bit.
It may tantalise it, or it may not. We shall see. So, yeah, today has been a new collection has been announced called Arendelle Aqua. So this is a Frozen-inspired colour collection, it's called. So it's around the Disney parks and online at Shop Disney. And it is what it says. It's aqua. So everything you can possibly think of, but in a very pale blue. And when I say very pale, I do mean very pale blue kind of colour. So we've got the old Spirit jerseys, of course, because everything has to have a Spirit jersey nowadays, doesn't it? And we've got the ears, and there's phone cases, and then there's even food and lemonades and backpacks and ears and glasses and T-shirts. You name it. If they can put it into an aqua colour, they've done it.
Can I just say, I don't like pale colours, and I'm sure you'll agree and back me up on that.
Yeah, I'm a little bit the same as well.
There's one word that springs to mind.
Oh, go on, that's it. Well, if yours is going to be the same word as my word, go on. What have you come up with?
Insipid.
Exactly what I was going to say.
But we are very much alike, and I know there's a lot of people listening now about to go and get the pitchforks and come and chase after us because they love this colour, but for me, I like bright, bold colours. I like red, I like blue, I like purple. I don't tend to wear a lot of pale colours, particularly when I'm going to the theme parks, because on photographs this will literally look white. But also when I'm tucking into my nice big juicy meals of maybe a piece of chicken or a nice burger, and I've got some nice barbecue sauce on. Are you seeing where I'm going?
Yeah. Messy.
But maybe Len Tester and Jim Hill are right. Maybe Disney are doing a tie-in with Vanish. Now, us in the UK understand that Vanish is a product that you use in your laundry to get rid of stains. I'm not quite sure what it's called in the United States. Please tweet us and let us know. But they suggested that over at Epcot, they're going to tie in, maybe some sponsorship deals because there's this barbecue food and wine booth there. And, people could get dirty with their clothage and the foodage that they're going to have. Well, maybe that's why Disney have produced a pale coloured shirt, because they're now going to have a problem with a solution because it's going to be sponsored by a manufacturer of a stain removal product.
Well, I must admit, Michelle, I am kind of in agreement with you. I think because of particularly with the Spirit jerseys, to be fair, looking at like some of the ears and little bits of jewellery and like little backpacks and stuff, because it's all very sequiny and the blue colour comes through, I don't mind that as much. I don't mind it on jewellery and things like that. I just think, particularly with Spirit jerseys and T-shirts, and like the material, particularly the Spirit jerseys are made out of, they're what I would call like a grime magnet. You know that thing of like you've only got to be like sitting a bit awkward, and it's gonna crease, and you're gonna pull your sleeves down, and in the creases it's gonna show up all the muck. I sound so much like a mum, don't I? But do you know what I mean? It's kind of
Yeah.
like grubby looking, but that's again just me. I say the little bits of jewellery and the sequin ear bow thingamajiggies and stuff like that. I don't mind quite so much. It's obviously I can see they're doing the, what can go with Arundel, what colour begins with A. Let's get a bit of alliteration going. We'll have aqua,
Mm.
perhaps. I don't know.
I must admit, I'm the same. I don't mind the glittery side of things because I do a bit of glitter, and I have
Yeah,
got, some Doc Martin boots that are in a aqua colour, but it's
me
it's a
too.
bit meatier colour. It's a bit more deep and passionate.
It's something about it. I'm not quite sure as well that I want to be eating blue churros as well, but hey ho, you
Well,
know.
while you're talking about blue churros,
Mm.
can I just mention that Disneyland has introduced a whole waft of Halloween time food?
As they have a tendency to do.
And there's every type of churro imaginable to the world.
All
And
right, okay.
I'm not kidding. You know, between Disneyland and DCA, we have got Maleficent, we've got Pumpkin Spice, we've got Coco, we've got the Haunted Mansion Bride and Groom. We have
Oh,
got Caramel Apple. We've got a Halloween. And I must admit, the Halloween one looks amazing because it's covered in green goo and it's sort of got like candy and the candy corn on it and things like that.
uh-huh.
There's so many. If you want to see some of the pictures, I've popped them on our blog, DisneyDreamGirls.com. Go and have a little look. But oh my word, the churros, but the food is off the hook over there.
They're very lucky. They always seem to get a really good array, don't they?
There's a Mickey Mouse cookie. I must admit, though, the cookie does look a bit weird because they've used the Mickey head shape but without his ears. So it just looks weird
Oh,
and freaky.
yeah. Mm, yeah. Got to have the ears, surely.
Yeah, there's a chocolate Yule log, which is an amazing mix of bright orange and it looks burgundy. Oh, there's just cakes and all sorts of things. There's a Darth by Chocolate Parfait.
Mm-hmm.
That's over at the Galactic Grill. I love that one. There's some slushies. There's a blood orange one. Oh, there's just so many things. There's cocoa inspired food because obviously that's a link in
Yeah.
to Halloween. Oh, there's macarons, but the creme de la creme. And I'm not normally a fan of funnel cakes,
No,
but I think me
but
and you are going to go to the Hungry Bear restaurant and we're
are
going to
we?
have, yeah, we are. We're going to have the decadent funnel
Okay.
cake because this decadent funnel cake is topped with a brownie, ice cream, and all sorts of stuff.
So there's enough to share, is there, Michelle?
Share, it could feed the whole theme park, love. Go to our blog, you'll see all the pictures, but wow, the food is amazing. And it's not just the sweet stuff as well. There's lots of different savouries, there's beers, there's all sorts. Oh, just so good.
It is cool though, the fact that they bring these things in for, the different seasons. It does keep things on their toes, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Jayne, I'll send you some
Mm.
pictures over. You can tweet to your jolly heart's content with all these pickies next week.
Will do, will do.
So that's something I'm sort of kind of envious of because
Mm.
obviously our lovely friend Mitchell Taylor at the moment is over at Disneyland. So
Yes.
I'm tweeting him and messaging him like mad saying, go try this food, go try this food, go try this food. And he says, I'm a really picky eater. I said, don't care, go and
Oh.
eat it, go and eat it.
You've got to
So,
take a chance sometimes, haven't you? If you don't try, you don't know.
absolutely. Now I'm popping over from happy tidings to sad tidings or angry tidings.
Oh, why?
Well, you know that when I go to Disney, my phone tends to die by about 10 o'clock because I've been using Facebook Live, I've been taking pictures, I'm on Instagram, whatever.
Yeah.
This year when I was on my trip, I
Mm.
took 2 fuel rods.
Yeah.
30
Keep you
quid.
going, yeah.
Yeah, $30 buys you the starter pack of the actual rod and an assortment of different cables for recharging or connecting into your mobile device.
Mhm.
Loved it.
Mm.
$30 of unlimited
Mm.
of free swapping once that battery died down. And to be honest, they're probably good for one good charge.
Yeah.
So throughout the day, I'd probably change it maybe twice.
Right.
Okay? Now, I took pictures of every single machine I walked past on this last trip because I thought, do you know what? Universal have changed. Some airports have changed because at some locations the fuel rods are no longer going to be able to be exchanged for free.
Oh.
Now, this is not the case as yet at Disney.
Right.
However, it's starting to come on some of the machines that it no longer mentions free unlimited swapping.
Oh.
It just mentions swappable.
So does that imply there's going to be a little bit of a sneaky charge working its way in?
Well, at the moment, there's no charge listed on these machines. There's no answer coming through from Disney at the moment to say there's going to be a charge. But, and here's the but, I would anticipate something coming down the line at some point.
It's a shame, isn't it?
It is a shame. Makes me a little bit cross at the old Disney because, you know, for that $30, it was a great little hack that you could have because my portable chargers that I have are big and they're heavy, they're cumbersome. This one was quite small and pocket size.
Yeah. And I say it is kind of a win-win situation for them because if people are able to keep going electronically throughout the day and are tweeting, Facebook Live, and whatever it may well be, it's inadvertently PR for them, isn't it?
True.
So you'd think they'd want to make that sort of thing easy for their guests to be able to carry on and do, perhaps.
One would think so, but we will see. Watch this space, Janie. I've got another piece of news I'd like to discuss.
Okay.
And it's under the heading of dessert parties.
Okay, there's something happening with dessert parties.
Well, this is only at Walt Disney World at the moment, so Disneylanders none of your hard ticket prices are going up yet.
Oh, so money's involved. Carry on.
So the fireworks dessert party at the Tomorrowland Terrace. Now, you have three options here, Jane. You have the Plaza Garden viewing, where you have your desserts, and then you go over to Plaza Garden to view.
Yeah.
Then you have it the alternate way. You view, and then you have the desserts.
Yes, after, yeah.
And then the final option is that you have your desserts and view from Tomorrowland Terrace.
Right.
The prices have all gone up starting the 1st of February 2020.
Have they gone up much?
Well, I know you've not got your finger on the pulse for this, so let's play a little game.
Oh, okay? Here we go. Right, okay.
So the dessert party at Tomorrowland Terrace, okay, where you get to stay at the terrace, have your snacks and your alcoholic beverage, whatever, and then you view. How much do you think it is now?
I'm going to go for the $79 mark because that seems to be what everything is.
That's not bad. What do you think Kiddie Winkles is?
Probably only, if it was 79, I'd say probably 65, 70. There's not normally an awful lot of difference for some bizarre reason.
Yeah. The new price is going to be $99.
Okay.
The current price is $84.
All right, so I wasn't far off, but 84 to 99.
$15 price
$15.
hike.
That's a big percentage. If you don't look at it as, hard dollars, if you work out percentage-wise, that's not too shabby, is it, from Disney's point of view? From our point of view, it's a little bit of a woohoo.
For me personally, I'm priced out of the market. There is no way I could eat $99 worth of dessert to get that value. And the viewing is not worth the difference to me.
No.
Now, if you're just there for a day, then maybe. If you can eat a fair amount and have maybe 4 drinks, then I think it's good for you. But for me, nah, I'm done. And remember, the Magic Kingdom does not have alcohol at its dessert parties either.
No, well, I mean, you know me, and particularly with desserts, Michelle, it's not something that I would go for anyway.
The thing that is quite concerning to me, if you're taking a child who is aged between 3 and 9, they will, from February, be paying $59.
For basically cake.
And to be honest, I wouldn't be doing this. I'd be hot tailing it to Cali Grill. I'd be having a meal there because it's a cheaper price point. You can have an adult meal at Cali Grill and an alcoholic beverage and view the fireworks with piped in music for less than $99.
Yeah, I'm gonna say if you've got that amount of money to spare, then great, all power to you. If you're looking for something special to do and that's your price budget, then maybe look a bit wider afield.
Yeah. If you are going to go with the Plaza Garden viewing, it's going up to $79 for adults, $47 for children.
Okay.
And the after one is going up even more. It's going from $69 to $89.
$20.
Yeah.
Gee.
Or $41 to $53.
Yeah, you see, I mean, we all appreciate things are getting more expensive, prices have to go up. And I think when prices change a few bucks here and there, nobody particularly minds as such. But when you've got a hike of $20, it's like a third again of your cost. Yeah, that's when it starts to sting a bit. And that's when I think people, if you are aware of I think if you come in and you've got no idea and that's the first time you've ever seen a price for something, then you're not going to think anything different. But if you're a regular Disney fan who's keeping abreast of these type of things, then you're going to feel that's a bit of a kick in the teeth, personally.
No, I completely agree. I am with you 100% on that. I just think it's a wow.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, as far as fireworks go, there's plenty of decent places to actually see the fireworks. If you're there for an extended period of time, like us Brits tend to be, you're probably going to catch them multiple times. And there's plenty of sweet treats you can treat yourself to up and down Main Street or wherever, isn't it? So there's a cheaper ways to do something very similar to what they're offering you.
No, I'm with you 100% on that one, buddy. Okay, well, I think that sort of covers all the things that we want to talk about in the news this week. So, Jayne.
Yes, Michelle.
Galaxy's Edge.
That Star Wars bit, yeah?
Yeah. I had a very interesting chat with our lovely friend Terri Hardin before she jetted off on her travels over to Disneyland Paris. And she has some very frank, candid views with regards to Galaxy's Edge.
Okay.
And bear in mind, Terri Hardin is a massive Star Wars fan.
Right.
So why don't I pop on that interview now? Everybody can get to hear what she's got to say.
Cool.
Where dreams begin.
Hey all, Michelle here. Just thought I'd have a little chat with the old lovely Terri Hardin and invite you along. So, hi Terri.
Hi, Michelle and Pop-Up. It's the Pop-Up conversation time.
We love having chats with you, Terri.
I love talking to you. I'm really gonna miss you since I can't. I'll be thinking of you as I sail through your lovely place.
Oh, well, we've just been chatting, and Terri's coming over to London via sort of doing a Paris thing and whatever with all her lovely people who are going on her escape plan. But we're not going to be able to catch up, my lovely.
I know. I'm sorry to hear that. Next time.
We've got things put in place with exchange dates.
Yes.
You're going to be taking a group of people over to Disneyland Paris and do all sorts of VIP fun things, aren't you?
Yes, and of course, now that I have released a couple of things that we're doing, everybody wants me to do another one. We'll see how much they want to do another one when the rubber hits the road. But some people thought it was going to be a museum tour because I said you're going to see it through an artist's life, and that museum tour is kind of touristy, and I'm more about showing people experiences. So some of the things that I did is I have been sending little phrases or calling up my group and saying little French phrases, bonjour, merci, s'il vous plaît, and letting them, you don't need to learn the French language, you just have to try. And therefore, then the French will speak English to you because they know that you've screwed up their language so much that they won't be embarrassed when they screw up the English. So, and it can be a very joyful, friendly place, but you need to dig deep instead of doing the surface touristy places, which we're not going to do Louvre. We're not going to do Notre Dame. We are going to do the Eiffel Tower because it's a not to be missed. But basically, we'll drive through, past, and let people know where they are so they can stay later if they want and see those places because they are fabulous. But anyone who goes to Paris knows about those sites. So my job is to take you into areas where you don't know. And one of the things that I've managed to work out is a private tour of the Opera House.
Ooh.
And I have been dying to see the Opera House, but it's always been very, very busy, very, very crowded, or not on the agenda. So to be able to have a VIP private escorted tour, just me and my gang through the Opera House for an hour and a half is, to me, seriously exciting. And then you get 2 days at Disneyland when I'm going to talk about the attractions that I worked on, et cetera, and take you to dinner and stuff like that. But then the other 3 days, we're doing a lot of really, really super cool things. We're taking a ride down the river, S-E-I, and I don't know how to pronounce
Seine.
it very well. Seine. I'll say that. I took a touristy tour of it the last time I was there and hated it. So this time I'm doing a VIP tour where it's just me and my gang again, and we're sailing down with a special private. So this is the idea, is to have a VIP private cruise in which I've hired someone who is going to tell us about it on a personal level, as opposed to a bunch of people eating and not being able to see anything because you get a table in the middle and you can't see the stuff outside. So every little thing that bothers me, I've erased, and it should be great. And then I sent questionnaires and said, what in Paris do you want to see? One lady wanted to see ice cream. So we have an ice cream place we're going to, which I've never been. And because I'm an artist and like experiences, we're going to make stuff while we're there. So this time we're going to make macaron. Last time I made baguette and croissant. So it's going to be just amazing. The things that I've got planned are amazing, and they're all VIP. We have a coach that will take us around, a guide that will talk to us, but we are not like a bus. We don't drive past and go, wave at the Disney store as you go by the Champs-Élysées. If you want to get out and you want to look at it, he merely pulls over and you get to go look. So that's the idea of it. And a lot of people have been asking me to do it again. And then they've asked me to maybe do one of these in Japan. So I'll research that stuff.
Whoa. Just stop. If you're doing Japan, you need an English accompaniment. You need me.
Yeah, I needed an assistant, don't I?
Yeah, I've never been, and I am killed to go.
All right. Well, we'll be chatting about that. All right, because the idea is to research it well enough that it can be just as sparkling as this Paris tour is going to be. So stay tuned for pictures and images, and I am going to look into the Tokyo experience, and we'll see what happens, because I'm happy to do that. But anyway, we were going to talk about Star Wars Galaxy's Edge.
We were.
Yeah.
Many eons ago, but as typical, Terry, I'll let you near a microphone, and what happens, you go off at a tangent.
Yeah, people say I should do a podcast. I go, oh man, that I don't know about that. My husband's like, do one, and I'm like, yeah, let me think about that one.
Yeah, it'd be a 6.5 hour long podcast every week.
Yeah, exactly. Put on your bunny slippers is what he would call it.
Right, so I'm going to try and keep you focused, lady. Okay, so Disneyland, Galaxy's Edge, have you visited yet?
Yes.
Tell me.
At the time Galaxy's Edge here in Anaheim decided to open, Disney decided to open it, they announced to mostly pass holders. I don't think they made a general announcement, but they announced to you that you could sign up for a private reservation, that in the beginning, from May 31st when it opened to June 23rd, I think it was, they were going to have reservations, and you could sign up for it. It didn't cost anything, but you had to know who was going with you, and you had to have ID, and you only got 4 hours, and blah, blah, blah. So they cracked this thing open, and I couldn't go because I was getting ready to go to Norway. And so I was gone to Norway for just about the entire reservation period. But I asked people to tell me about it. What was it like? What did you like? What didn't you like? So on and so forth. Well, the cool thing about the reservation period was that the Imagineers had envisioned this land where you would be completely dipped and immersed into the Star Wars epics and genre. So you walked in and people would say bright suns to you, and they were residents of Batuu, and you would walk around. And for example, if you wanted to build a lightsaber, you had to find that place, which was secretly hidden, because the First Order, should they find it, would have blown it up. So you had to find your way to there, and you had to ask just the right questions. And when you only have 4 hours, that can take a long time. And so the main thing I've said to people is, you want to do these attractions as early as possible, no matter where they are. Because once the park gets a hold of them, you've got Disney Imagineering, which designs and creates their vision. And then you've got Disneyland, who's got to run a business. What happens is Disneyland will take a look at what you've done and go, oh, heck no, that ain't happening. And this is what happened with the lightsaber build. It took too long to get 14 people inside to build lightsabers. And the goal was to keep that cash cow rolling as much as possible. $200 a person times 14 times, I'd say each event takes 40 minutes plus the 15 to queue in. So figure 14 people an hour, and they probably do it a little faster. But they soon realized at the park that trying to find this spot and then checking in and then getting in, and they have to pick their components, was taking too long. Also, several people complained about the total immersion experience.
What do you mean by the immersion? What do you mean by that?
Well, you go in you go in through the threshold. In some cases, you go pass under an arch and you're in Batuu. You are part of Batuu. You've got the Batuans, for lack of a, they all live there. They all work there. And they would speak to you in this sort of different language. So if you asked in English, where is the bathroom? They would look at you curiously because they did not understand the word bathroom. They would talk to you in their Batuan language, which for Star Wars fans could have been cool, but for people needing to find the bathroom, it was annoying to them. They finally complained and said, I don't need to have this interaction where I'm trying to explain in my own country, where can I find the bathroom? Some people just don't play, It's too bad. But they were frustrated. They were also, if you had the reservations, you were frustrated because if you didn't finish your lightsaber or your appointment for the lightsaber didn't happen in that 4 hours of reservation time, they kicked you out.
Oh, okay.
So it was fun for some, but it wasn't fun for many. For example, many wanted to go to the cantina and soon learned they were going to stand most of their 4 hours in line if they wanted to get into the cantina and have a couple of alcoholic drinks and buy the souvenir mug for $42. So you have a very expensive land that during the summer months when it was released is terribly hot. There is no shade. It is a very beautiful land. So let's talk some Hardin hacks for your listeners that will help you should you visit the wonderful world of Batuu. First of all, go very, very early in the morning or go in the evening. The evening, it's beautiful. All the lights come on. It's cooler. It's very attractive. It's sparkly, dark because it is that kind of a land, but it's very, very pretty at night. And you can watch the fireworks from there. But if you're someone who is impacted by sound, so for example, let's say you are a veteran that has a little trouble with what do they call that? The
post-traumatic stress disorder.
Exactly. It's going to sound like gunshots in that area. When the fireworks go off, they sort of shake you because it's a small area and it sounds like gunshots. So if it's something that bothers you, you might not want to watch the fireworks from there. The second hack is you can reserve your cantina experience 14 days before you go to the park.
Ooh, okay, I didn't know that.
This is a big one. A lot of people don't. This is a big one. You can go out 14 days before you're going to arrive, and you can reserve your spot. I highly recommend around, if you're going in August, like you said you might, Michelle, you want to book it for 7:40, 8 o'clock. So the sun is not beating and bouncing off the rock that you have to stand out in line for while you wait to go in, because there is a line, there's a waiting time, and it's very hot because there's no shade, and the sun just, that setting sun just hits that rock. It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. That's all I'm going to say. I don't know why they did what they did, but it's just too hot for people. So if you want to avoid that, go for like a little after dinner, something like that. If you want to build a lightsaber, which I highly recommend, yes, it's $200 a person. That person can bring in 2 guests.
Oh, that's good.
Yes, so one of you can build and the other 2 can view.
You could charge your friends $20 to watch to contribute towards the cost of it.
And if you're someone who doesn't want to keep your lightsaber and you have a pass, let's say, you could sell it for just a little over $200 and pay for your experience. And someone on eBay is going to be a very happy person. So it depends on whether you keep it or not. If you keep it, like I thought I was going to get rid of mine, but I absolutely love mine. When I'm in a bad mood, I just turn it on because it makes things down. So you're just like, and I'm a Star Wars geek, so I kept mine. But the thing that's beautiful about this is it's an isolated situation because you are supposed to be hiding, which means that this particular experience should not be affected by what's happening outside in Batuu. Which means that you're going to get bang for your buck. The most bang for your buck is going to be building that lightsaber. Now you might be asking yourself, what about the droid experience? Well, the droid experience, I don't know if they're going to change it, but it looked to be a cluster, to me. You pay $100, you're in a building where people are walking around watching you build your droid while they're shopping. Problem is, these pieces come on these little sections, and you pick your parts. So let's say you want to do a purple, for whatever reason, purple's your favorite color, and you want to do a purple BB-8. Well, I've heard people say that, and I've watched people grab the parts. So you got a little kid who can't reach, and people are stealing parts and keeping the kid from being able what he wants to build. And one person said they got their purple BB-8 all built, and then they couldn't find the head, and they went to one of the gatherers who helps you with your droid to say, where's the head? And they said, we don't have any.
Oh.
I just think it's really dumb. I don't think, if you're going to spend $100 for a droid, really consider spending the extra 100 and doing the lightsaber, because the whole experience is beautiful. And if you're someone who is a Star Wars aficionado and you want to live the experience, you can actually interact with these people as a Jedi, because the premise is you have been selected by your order as a person who is now been granted the privilege of building your lightsaber. So you are flying into Batuu to the secret place to build this lightsaber. So if you pretend you're a Jedi, very honored in the fact that you get to build this lightsaber and everything, they will interact with you, and it's tons of fun. This is what I did. This is what I did when I did it. It was joyful and fun. They now do not, in the beginning, they let you look at the drawers. They have a box. Don't know if next year that box will still be there, but right now it is still there. The box, you can open and look at the actual metal parts that build the lightsaber. The lightsaber is metal. So you actually can look at those parts. Now you have to ask to look at those parts, because now they have cards that have pictures on them and you point to a card because they needed to move it faster. And this is the problem with Disneyland versus Imagineering is they weren't getting the people in fast enough. So now you have to be a pretty stupid stormtrooper to not know where this place is because you've got a ton of people standing with their pads, better known as digital devices, waiting to check you in. So, and that's all because Disney wanted it faster, faster, faster. They want to make sure you got 14 people, which is also the reason that you can book this now without being on Disney property. You can actually book these now. And I think somebody told me the other day, 14 days out for all of them. And a lot of people, well, now you guys know, but the point is if you know this, then you can get this all done and ready for yourselves. Now understand they're going to make you pay. If you don't show up for your appointment for the lightsaber, you will still pay $200. So be sure you cancel if you can't make it, and then, or be sure you show up. I mean, I don't know why anyone would not. But the challenge is as the park gets more and more attached or involved with Galaxy's Edge, the less and less the interactive experience is occurring. In fact, the Millennium Falcon, which has 2 pilots, 2 gunners, and 2 navigators, most people feel that the ride falls short. I haven't ridden on it, so I'm not going to tell you that's my opinion. However, I had 2 real good friends from London. You know them, Andreas and Sally, Michelle, who went to ride the Millennium Falcon, and they were very excited because they had pilot seats, which apparently is the place you want to be, is you want to be a pilot. But when they went to sit with the other 4 people, 2 people jumped in the pilot seat and said they were pilots and would not get out. And the cast member said, okay, whatever, the rest of you just sit where you can.
Oh,
so
what?
they don't, they don't enforce it. They don't fight. They just go, whatever. They walk away. So you may have to fight for that pilot seat if you've got that card. Having the card doesn't necessarily mean you get to do it if you've got a couple of entitled people that are going to jump in the chair and say, which is just so sad. But there you have it. That's what they did. And it's too bad. So what is my impression? I'm a huge Star Wars fan. It's great to get a picture by the Millennium Falcon. It's awesome to see the X-Wing. Chewbacca running around is definitely joyful, but it's really, to me, a glorified Downtown Disney. If you're a Star Wars fan, once you've done your shopping, once you've gone into the cantina, had your couple of drinks in a very loud cantina and taken your pictures, once you've run the Millennium Falcon, let's say you really love it, you want to do all 6, you want to do 3 seats, and then maybe you think the other side has something to do, so maybe you ride it 6 times. Pretty much people are finding that they're not going back. They're done. There's no, your blue milk, which is not milk, it's juice, is $8. Your drinks can be anywhere from $12 to $42 if you get the collectible mug. So it's not an inexpensive experience. They have a section which is quite beautiful to walk through called Antiquities, but the things in there are for sale, many, and you can get your Darth Maul bow if you want, with the 2 lightsabers on each end, but understand that you're buying it piece by piece by piece by piece and assembling it, not like the Star Wars lightsaber experience. Someone behind the counter plugs it in, puts it all together for you, and then charges you $300. So the question is, you have no ultimate experience, but you do have the unusual weapons like Kylo Ren's lightsaber if you want it, or Darth Maul's bow if you just can't live without it, so you drop your money and whatever. But it really becomes a place that, even as me as a Star Wars nut, I don't see any reason to go back. It doesn't do anything.
So can I ask you, why didn't you ride the attraction?
I didn't ride the attraction because the first time I went in, my goal was to build a lightsaber. I wanted to get in the lightsaber, get out, because I have to carry this lightsaber. And I'm just like, I could not coordinate the ride, the lightsaber cantina on that day. So because I'm a pass holder, I just popped in, did that, walked around the park, which was empty. See, Disney did not plan for Disneyland to be empty. It was so empty, I thought I was in college again. You could walk over the bridge over Pirates of the Caribbean and no one was on it. No one. At noon, 1, 2, nobody. You could walk into Pirates of the Caribbean. It took you 5 minutes. You could get from the front of the park all the way over to Critter Country, which is where Galaxy's Edge is built on the back of Critter Country, in 10 minutes. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I've never seen the park so empty in my life.
Wow.
And it was fantastic. So when they only let certain pass holders come in or people who buy tickets, it was a really joyful experience. You could get on Space Mountain in 10 minutes. There was no big hot line. It was fantastic. Even now, people are telling me it's more crowded, but it's a different kind of crowded. And Galaxy's Edge is not. People go in, check it out, leave. There's really nothing to keep you there. And it's so hot, you don't want to be there. Now, when it's cooler, maybe people will stay, but it really is about the shopping. And the building is weird. There's not a lot of places in the build, not a lot of places to sit and just kind of look and enjoy. There's not a lot of those. If they are, they're out in the sun. It's confusing. It's very confusing. As I walk through as an Imagineer, I keep saying, why would you design it this way? And people keep saying that this new attraction that's coming out in January, I think Florida might be getting it earlier, that it will probably be the pull. But right now, the Imagineers have designed it so it has two sequences where you walk through. You walk in, you experience the first part of the attraction. And then you get out and you walk again, and then you experience the second part of the attraction. The problem with this is if Disneyland decides they don't like the time it takes, they will kill one of those two walkthroughs. So you want to make sure you get in there just in case they decide they don't want to keep it. And they ask the Imagineers to, or they build it or they block it off or they bury it or whatever, because they want it to go fast. So that's why I say, yeah, there's going to be a lot of big lines and yeah, it's going to be annoying, but you'll get to see it the way the Imagineers envisioned it, like Indiana Jones. I mean, you go to Indiana Jones now, it's a ghost of itself when it originally opened. And so it's something that you want to bear in mind. Should you go? Absolutely. I was talking to someone in Florida and saying, have they done something different with Galaxy's Edge Florida? Because Florida in August, did they open in August? Yeah. In the heat of Florida. Are they mad? We hate it here. And ours is a dry heat. I can't imagine being in Florida and experiencing Galaxy's Edge the way, lots of sun, no shade, lines against hot rocks. I just can't imagine how Floridians are going to be able to survive it, because it's just very uncomfortable to be there. Then you watch the cast members, which break your heart, because the cast members are all dressed in 3 or 4 layers of clothes, and they're just sweltering. And I'm talking about your ticket takers, your people who are walking around as some of the atmosphere. They're just boiling, and they don't get the opportunity of a person who is, Chewbacca gets to rest every 15 minutes, 15 minutes on, 15 minutes off. So Chewbacca doesn't get too hot with all that fur. So he gets a break. And so does Kylo Ren. Well, Kylo Ren's Kylo Ren, so of course he gets a break whenever he wants. But Kylo Ren storms around and gets a break. Stormtroopers get a break. But if you are a classic cast member, a member of Batuu, then you're sweltering, unless you're a gatherer with the lightsaber building, because it's air conditioned. And there are some places like the people who serve you the quote unquote blue milk juice, they're in shade. So there are some benefits, but you really have to be particular about where you work, because it's just unbelievable. And the marketplace, there's no air. There's just no air flowing through the place. So I don't know why they designed it this way. It's just really strange. It's just a strange, I think many people will go in and go, what were they really thinking when they did this? I like it, but even a Star Wars person may not go. I mean, we may pop in and get another Millennium Falcon picture. Oh, let's just go in and take, and then leave, because it has some great photo spots. But I don't know. The funny thing when I went to build my lightsaber is I was told when you sign up that if you don't show up, you pay $200.
Wow.
Well, that's just not happening, Michelle. That's not happening. I'm not going to pay $200 for air. I'm going to build my lightsaber. So I printed out my confirmation number on paper. When I went to check in, most of the people who are from Batuu, I guess are millennials, because when I showed them the paper, they did not know how to check me in. They looked at the paper and they said, "Don't you have a digital device?" And I said, "I'm not from Batuu. I did not know if you had Wi-Fi, and I am not about to miss my opportunity. I've traveled several worlds to get here. I have been bestowed the great honor of building a lightsaber. So I am from a very sensible planet, and we print it out on this, which is called paper." And they looked at me after this statement, and they had to have a conference between them on how to check me in using my paper. So, no, isn't it funny? It was very funny. It was very funny. It was a major conversation, because I guess most visitors to Batuu keep it on their phone, but I wasn't about for my phone not to pick up the signal, not be able to access the page, and be out of luck. So I said, no. I'm from the common sense planet. We don't do that there. And they said, okay. And that's the way I played it all the time. When I went in, they have a sort of an oval situation where you build a little spot for your two people to stand behind you, or your one. And then I ended up being right next to where the gatherers were. So I said, "Oh, great gatherers, I am so honored to be here. I have fought long and hard and trained well. And finally, I have been granted this privilege. I am eager to see what awaits me." And the gatherers will play with you. They would say, "Young Jedi, we're very honored that you're here, and we appreciate the respect you've given us." And I said, "Would you be so kind as to commemorate the day by taking a picture with my digital device?" And so the guy leans back and he takes my picture, and another gatherer says, "Hey, you operate that very well. You must understand these alien digital devices that we have come across." And he says, "Yes, many have asked me to take what's called a photo, so I've learned." And I said, "Oh, no. You guys are gatherers. I disagree. I think you're modest. I'm sure somewhere, because you're gatherers and builders, you have built many of these yourself." And they all smiled like, uh-oh. You know what I mean? So they will sit and play with you. And if you want to do that interaction, I believe that's the only place you're going to be able to do it. Even in the cantina, the people who are serving you in the cantina are in a environment that is so loud for their shift that they really are kind of gruff and grumpy, because it's the land of scum and villainy. So they're not necessarily too friendly, or if they are, they are a little bit short, because if you sit at a booth at the cantina, you can only stay 45 minutes. But if you want to stand, you can stand there forever. I just don't know why anyone would. Once you've had your couple of drinks, and it doesn't have to be alcoholic drinks. It just needs to be 2 drinks. And because they're all expensive. So it's just that sort of a thing. You can find helmets there. If you're a cosplayer, you can find various X-Wing fighter helmets, TIE fighter helmets, some hats from some of the orders, and they're made really well. and they run anywhere from like $50 on up. You can find a full-on flight suit for about $200, and it's made really, really well. So what I did is I have been collecting gift cards. I went and picked up a flight suit and just used the gift cards I had been given for quite some time to pretty much buy it outright, and you get a pass holder discount. So I ended up spending in real money for myself probably about $20. But it's made so well that as someone who is a costumer, I decided to grab one, because in order for me to make something like that would cost a lot more than $200.
No, fair play.
So you kind of look at it and say, how can I do it? The last thing I want to tell your listeners is there's a booth when you come in via the Hungry Bear restaurant, which is weird. Mm-hmm. It's just roll with me. Come in the Hungry Bear. You can come in from Big Thunder, opposite Big Thunder Mountain. And I guess there's a third entrance, which I have no idea where it is. Because I really, honestly, guys, no catalytic converter on my mouth, didn't care. But if you come in, you come in through Hungry Bear Restaurant, there's a little kiosk there selling Star Wars bags, patches, but they also sell a gift card there. And you have to put $100 on this gift card.
Is this the special metal one?
Yes. And that is a great souvenir for taking home with you, and you can spend that $100 anywhere in the park. Okay, so put $100 on that card, and then when you're done, it's a great, you're not going to have security get upset about your Coke bottle just because the guy decided he wants to be upset about your Coke bottle. That gift card is very cool, and if you just want a little something that you can have that is awesome, you could frame it when you get home, or just keep it someplace of honor on a shelf or whatever, and then you can use it when you come into town. I think it is just one of the best things, if not the best thing. Because you're putting $100 on it, you're not spending $100.
True.
So later on, you can use it to buy food. You can use it to buy souvenirs. So that to me is the best gift next to the Dasani and the Coke bottles. I think the Dasani and Coke bottles are super cool.
They are cute.
They really are neat. They really, really are neat. So there are things you can go in there, and for a limited amount of money, if you're on a budget, you can get something if you're a Star Wars person and you want to collect it, because I think they've done some really nice stuff there. But all in all, get there as soon as you can, and then don't be disappointed if you walk through and you say, hey, I really enjoyed it, but then you ask yourself, are you going to go back? And you may just say, no. Let's go ride the Jungle Cruise,
Well, thank you for your candour and all those wonderful top tips. Now, lady, next August, me and thee, breakfast, Steakhouse 55, are we on?
Woohoo! I'd love it.
Okay.
I'd love it. And then we'll go have a drink at Trader Sam's.
Sounds perfect.
Yeah. You're a darling, and congratulations on your marriage.
Thank you.
So excited for you. And tell your son happy travels.
Yeah, back to university. But those things, get in the way of life. I'd love to hop on to DLP and be with you, but we're talking about next May, maybe, and maybe seeing each other then, or in California in August. We will make something happen.
We sure will. You're giving me some options with plenty of time.
Yeah.
So thank you a bunch. And I love you guys over there. I will be in London from the 15th to the 18th.
No, I hope you have a lovely few days in London. I am sure your Paris trip will be amazing.
Going to be fun. And we'll do it again, because people are saying, please, will you do it again? So.
When will we do it again?
Exactly.
It's in a parade. But
exactly.
To put a final damper on your parade, I do have to say good evening to you and wrap up our conversation. Terri, you are an absolute delight. Thank you for chatting with us.
All right, my love. You guys be well, enjoy yourselves, and we'll see you soon, hopefully.
Where dreams begin.
So were you surprised by some of Terri's comments there, Jayne?
Well, yeah, it is, and it's going to be one of those things, isn't it? Star Wars. I was only talking about this with Simon the other day. Actually, Star Wars is a very evocative subject with hardcore Star Wars fans, and some will love everything that Star Wars has to offer, and some will be passionate about a particular film, and everything else can't possibly live up to it. So it becomes this minefield, and I think there's an element of damned if you do, damned if you don't, as far as Disney goes. No matter what they do, some are going to love it, some aren't, and some are going to be, yeah, it's okay.
Everybody's entitled to their viewpoint and to think what they like of it. Neither Jayne and I have been, so we're keeping stum until we have been. And I think the pair of us are waiting till everything is open to give a viewpoint then.
Absolutely.
And that's purely because we can't afford to get there.
Well, unless anybody wants to pay for me to go, you know. I mean, I'd sacrifice myself and go if somebody wanted me to.
Aww, babe. Anyway, let's wrap up this week's show. I'd like to thank everybody on our Patreon page for their support. They help us with all the additional costs for running the show, and in return we thank them with lots of additional content. So thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Also, if you've got any questions, comments or things you would like us to chat about on the show, you can get in touch with us in the usual manner. But until next week, it's a goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.